Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So today is Sunday, Sun's Day. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki. So today is the disappearance day of Srila Gadadhara Pandit as well as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki. Because of the shortage of the time, I think we'll mostly talk about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and maybe some reference to Gadadhara Pandit also at some point or maybe towards the end. So on this day, of course, Srila Gadadhara Pandit disappeared in Jagannath Puri Dham, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur departed in Navadvip Dham, Mayapur ki. Really. Gadadhara Pandit, how could we not talk? He was Radharani himself. Radharani doesn't get to be with Krishna all the time or in a public. It is not possible. Only hidingly or at night time or occasionally only Radharani is able to meet Sri Krishna. But of course, Radharani always would like always to be with Krishna, so that to get that dream fulfilled, Radharani appeared as Gadadhara Pandit in the male form, of course. And now, Gadadhara Pandit, Radharani, who is also one of the members, 5 members, Panchatattva, is part of that team. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. And as Radharani stands next to Krishna on the left side of Sri Krishna, so here also in Panchatattva, as we take darshan, Bame Gadadhara Kiba Dakshine Nitai Chan. On the right side of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is also in the middle. The right side is Nityanand Prabhu, who is like a right-hand man of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, elder brother of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and to his left is Gadadhar, who is non-different from Radharani. So they spend lots of time together. They are like buddies, they are friends, they would always be together. And Sachi Mata even had instructed, we could say, you Gadadhar, you be with my Nimai all the time. He could get in trouble. There was some trouble. Where is Krishna? Where could I find Krishna? Then he was told, your Krishna is within your heart. And then Gauranga, he started scratching and digging into his chest as he was told, your Krishna is within your heart. So he was harming himself, injuring himself. So Gadadhara was next to Nimai and said, no, don't do this, don't do this. Look, there is Krishna. He's outside of you also. He's inside of you, he's outside of you. Anyway, some way he convinced Nimai to stop digging into his chest and heart to find Krishna there. So Sachimata had watched this act of an advice of Gadadhara Pandit, and she said, you better be with my Nimai all the time, protect him. So that is what he also wanted, to be with Nimai, Krishna. Radharani wanted that, so they're always together. In Navadvip Leela, and then as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and now he was stationed in Jagannath Puri. Gadadhara Pandit traveled to Jagannath Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found a deity in the sand of the beach there. Okay, here is a Gopinath, here is a Tota Gopinath for you to worship. So Krishna, Gauranga, he gave Krishna to Gadadhara Pandit in the form of the deity. And now you could associate with this Krishna, Gopinath, all the time and serve Tota Gopinath. So that is what he continued doing in Puri. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would regularly visit Tota Gopinath Mandir to do what? To be with Radharani in the form of Gadadhara Pandit. And Gadadhara Pandit would talk and talk, give his discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be in the audience, Srila Prabhupada ki. So Gadadhara Pandit, really, as he recited Srimad Bhagavatam, he would go into ecstasy and besides other symptoms, trembling and getting stunned sometimes. He would shed lots of tears. They would all drop on Bhagavatam that he used to use while recitation. So that way, the copy after copy after copy of Srimad Bhagavatam was getting damaged, and it was needed to replace the copy of Srimad Bhagavatam that Gadadhara Pandit would recite from. Really, this deity of Tota Gopinath was very tall and was very difficult to reach. If he was to offer a crown or even flute, Gadadhara Pandit was, he was normal size, but the Tota Gopinath was abnormal or very tall. So for the convenience of Gadadhara Pandit, Lord kind of sat down in Padmasana, making a job of Gadadhara Pandit easy so that he could do Shringar and other services more easily and conveniently. So this way the Tota Gopinath also was, of course, reciprocating with Gadadhara Pandit. And finally, well, a lot of things. Gadadhara Pandit had taken Kshetra Sannyas. He was never married because he was already married to Krishna. And that was, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was there, so there was no question of another marriage. So one time as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, well, he would leave Puri from time to time. One time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was headed for Vrindavan, and as Gadadhara Pandit found out that Gauranga is going to Vrindavan, then of course he wanted to go with Gauranga to Vrindavan, and he was following right behind, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was forbidding him, no, don't come. You are Kshetra Sannyasi. Puri, stay in Jagannath Puri. But Gadadhara Pandit was pushing on and on and on, and finally there was a river that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to cross. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets into the boat and not allowing Gadadhara Pandit to board the boat, and no question of him going to Vrindavan. So Gadadhara Pandit just collapsed, feeling separation from Gauranga. And then he was, of course, had to return to Puri. So finally, as Gauranga Mahaprabhu wound up his pastimes on this earth or in Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he chose to enter the deity that was worshipped by Gadadhara Pandit, and that is Tota Gopinath. Lord entered into he entered and he became Tota Gopinath himself. There's another significance. The bond between Gadadhara Pandit and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, of course, so strong, and their affection for each other cannot be compared with any other relationship. Radha Krishna pranaya vikratir alhadani shaktirasmat. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his love and affection for Gadadhara Pandit by entering into the deity that Gadadhara Pandit used to worship, and that is Tota Gopinath Ki. Hari. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur it's a long story, long life. Just want to talk of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Gadadhara Pandit connection. When Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur discovered Mayapur, or Mayapur as the birthplace of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he installed different deities, of course, Radha Madhav also, Panchatattva, and like that. And he also, I think it must be him, or maybe Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I'm not sure. But there are deities of Gaur Gadadhar also were installed at Yoga Peeth, because Yoga Peeth is a place, birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the pastime place of Gauranga and Gadadhar. They always would meet together, play together, and hang out together, as this American devotees say, hang out. So at that place, birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's also deities of Gaur and Gadadhar. Normally there's a Gauranga Nityanand, but there are deities of Gaur and Gadadhar also. Later on, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur had shifted to Swarupganj, which is part of Navadvip, or what is that dweep? Nadiya Godrame Nityananda Mahajan Patiya Chena Mahata Jivirakaran. So in that Swarupganj, right on the bank of Saraswati, Jalangri, Bhaktivinoda Thakur established his residence, his home, and that is also was known as Swananda Sukhad Kunj. Swananda Sukhad Kunj. So at this place also, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur installed and worshipped Gaur Gadadhar. Shows a special connection with Gadadhar. Of course, Gaurang connection is always there, but he added Gadadhar next to Gauranga and worshipped. So Gaur Gadadhar is like a Radha Krishna. Worshipping Gaur Gadadhar is worshipping Radha and Krishna. Worshipping Gaur Nityananda is like worshipping Krishna Balaram. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was born on 2nd September in 1938 in Nadia district. He was the 7th child of his father, Raja Krishnananda Datta, the Datta family. He was the 7th child. As Srila's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became 4th child of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So those were the days. Ashtaputra Saubhagyavati, those kind of blessings used to be there. So he was born in very aristocratic family and lived a life of lots of opulence and facilities at his disposal. He went to school in Krishna Nagar, for your information. Krishna Nagar, which is not far from Mayapur. On the way to Mayapur, we go through Krishna Nagar. It's a district town also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was sent to English school in Krishna Nagar. But later on, he was shifted to Kolkata and he continued his studies in Kolkata. But then In Kolkata, there was salty water, and he was getting ill. So he was again shifted back to Krishnanagar region. He was 11 years old and he lost his father. And he had to endure, go through lots of inconvenience and difficulties in absence of his father. 1 year later, at the age of 12, he was married to a girl from Ranaghat. You know where Ranaghat is, on the way to Mayapur. The girl was 5 years old, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was only Kedarnath Dutt. He was 12 years old. So his studies continued, and he was very brilliant. He became very fluent in Persian language and Urdu language, and he started his writing career at the age of 18, 20. He was an author and his books were getting published, and he was receiving recognition for his books and his authorship by the different viceroys and governors and they were all Britishers those days. Later on, he had opened a school to teach Nyay, which is a part of Sanskrit studies. And that school was opened by one of the governors, British governor, and it was also named after that governor. And this was in Orissa. Well, for livelihood, he had taken up services of teaching, and he was in Bhadrak, which is in the middle of Orissa, and he becomes the headmaster of that Bhadrak school. And this is where he also gave birth to his first child in Bhadrak. At high school, he was headmaster of that high school. In 85, I think, towards the end of 85, as we traveled from Dwarka to Mayapur via Kanyakumari, that big, giant-size Padayatra, we had come to Bhadrak, and we had an opportunity to visit the high school where Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a first headmaster. We found out a list of headmaster after headmaster after headmaster, but he was the first headmaster of that high school. But Bhadrak, we also have another connection with Bhadrak. Anyway, I better not say all these connections. But as we were traveling by Prabhupada's order, from Mayapur to Jagannath Puri, in Bhadrak, we received a donation. Whole Gaudiya Math was donated to Padayatra. And Prabhupada said, go for it, take it. And he gave us further guidelines. And now, in same Bhadrak, we have ISKCON. Bhadrak has taken shape. The same Bhadrak. And it's also, Bhadrak is a pastime place of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kantha is outer garments of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are in a museum, are available for darshan. And so then Bhaktivinoda Thakur was becoming collector in different places and district magistrate, and he was kind of being transferred, and so all over Orissa, Bengal, he had different postings and different locations. He was highly respected. The district magistrate. Only selected few would get a job of a district magistrate. That was the topmost job that Indians could get. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was one of the few district magistrates in India, authorized and engaged in India those days, in the middle of the British Raj. Hari. Yeah, it's part of his biographical. I mean, his whole life is just amazing. Wow, it's a wow factor. Wow, everything that you get to know about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There are tons of things about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, event after event after event, and happening after happening, and he did this and he did that, and it's just amazing. His life was full of, so he's now becoming a deputy district magistrate in Jagannath Puri. Now he's managing Jagannath Puri temple, overseeing, and lots of things were going wrong, and lots of mismanagement that was going on. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur fixes all that. When he found that the king of Orissa is also king of Jagannath Puri temple, and they are normally stationed in Puri. He was a corrupt person, and lots of wealth. It is said some 80,000 rupees he was gobbling up and exploiting, and so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he stopped that. He compelled this king, you have to use the wealth that you have gathered from Jagannath's hundi or other offerings made to Jagannath. King was confiscating or stealing. You have to make, every day you have to spend money for offerings of Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. So this way, that stolen Lakshmi by the king was now going back to Jagannath as per order of district magistrate Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki. Hari. Then he has started called Bhagavad Sansad, like a parliament, where he would gather lots of, respectable, and everyone was welcome to come and participate in those discussions of Srimad Bhagavatam. By this time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had deeply studied the Shad Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. He had also mastered the study of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu of Rupa Goswami. I mean, during his childhood days, he was inclined to study the Christian theology. And he preferred studying that then studying the monism, Advaitvad. But later on, in fact, as he had now been shifted to Orissa, his grandfather had asked, you go to all the temples and monasteries in Orissa and you study their teachings and different practices, which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur did that, but he was not impressed. In fact, he was disappointed. And so around this time, as he was studying other temples and their philosophies and their teachings and techniques, he was coming in touch with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya Ki and the literature of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He had heard of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but the copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita was not available. So those were kind of the days. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's parampara, and they were getting lost and distorted and deviations. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was kind of a social scientist, and he had come to conclusion there are so many original teachings and practices of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been diluted, and there's deviation. There are apasiddhanta, dvanta, harine. He also had instructed his son and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to preach against this apasiddhanta, the wrong siddhanta or diluted siddhanta, or the siddhanta with the deviations. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur he made a whole list. This is apasiddhanta, owl, bow, Gauranga Nagari, and this one and that one, and especially Sahajiyas. And he was preaching against all these apasiddhanta parties, the original movement and parampara that originated in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or even Madhvendra Puri was now getting branching out, and distractions and deviations were taking place. And so his job, of course, as now he was being empowered to be Acharya. So what does Acharya do? He also does Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. And he was also trying to make a point and preach, which is a fact, that who is superior? Is a Brahmin is superior, or is a Vaishnava superior amongst the two? So there was a whole big conference, and there was going to debate on this topic, the Brahminism versus Vaishnavism. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was meant to address this gathering, preside over this happening function. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur became ill. So then what to do? He sent Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati to, you go. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave some tips and guidelines, and so Bhaktivinoda Bhaktivinoda Thakur was represented by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, very successfully establishing the superiority of Vaishnavism. Very well. So there was a big victory of Gaudiya Vaishnavas and Vaishnavism there. Yes, as I mentioned earlier in Jagannath Puri, this Bhagavad Sansad, the gathering to discuss Bhagavatam was happening. Lots of people were joining, and he was conducting these classes or discourses in the same place, Jagannath Vallabh Garden, where Rai Ramanand also used to one time reside there. So lots of people were coming, except some prominent scholar, I don't remember his name now. And he was also making, hey, don't go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's those Bhagavatam discussions and discourses. He was stopping, dissuading others from going to attend these gatherings. And then what happens? This person becomes ill, and Jagannath appears in the dream. Says, if you wish to survive, that means not die, you better give up your anti-Bhaktivinoda Thakur propaganda. And then, in fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the one who he prescribed certain medicine for this fellow, and he got cured and became admirer and follower of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jagannath Puri. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he is known for, he wrote more than 100 books, scriptures, and Srila Prabhupada compares this kind of scriptures, or also Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs. In ISKCON we sing Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs and Narottam Das Thakur's songs. So songs of these Acharyas, Prabhupada. This is Vedavani. This is as good as Vedas. Vedas have been translated in the form of these different songs in regional or Odia or Bengali language. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a writer. He would write in Sanskrit, in English, Odia, Bengali, also in Persian and Urdu also. He was translating different articles and books, writing, translating. So he was a well-known, big size, tall personality, scholar of his times. Okay, so we should... So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to retire from his job as a magistrate. Anyway, kind of schedule that he would follow, that's again, wow. He would sleep at 8 p.m. and get up at 10 p.m. 2 hours sleep. All night long he would write and write and write, and also chant and chant. He used to chant 64 rounds every day. As a district magistrate, you know how much busy, how much business that one is. He was a district magistrate. He had 10 children in his family. On the top of that, he would, of course, how could he manage writing and chanting 64 rounds? So he had to have sleepless nights. Sleep less and write more, chant more. We even sleep during chanting time, or when the scriptures are recited, we don't mind sleeping. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was postponing the sleeping, eating business. We also hear, I don't know how he would manage. In some 14 minutes or something, that is how much time he would spend on his eating or bathing. This is all beyond us. It's achintya, inconceivable how he managed. So he wanted to go for early retirement, but the government would not let him go. So what government only managed to do in his favor, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's favor, was he was shifted from Jagannath Puri district to Krishnanagar district, which was closer to Mayapur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to, in fact, retire and return to Navadvip, Mayapur, and serve Dham and serve Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So that is what he did, and all that he did, for that he has become known as seventh Goswami. We know 6 Goswamis, Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan. So all that Shad Goswamis did in Vrindavan, discovering the lost places of Krishna's pastimes, establishing temples, writing books, and propagating, spreading Krishna consciousness. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur did all that he did by himself in Navadvip, Mayapur, and he became known as the 7th Goswami of Navadvip Dhama ki. Okay, I think So, what could we say? I mean, Yadi Bhaktivinoda Thakur na hoite. There is no Bhakti Siddhanta, no Bhakti Vedanta, and no nothing. So, in the shape that Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara is now existing and spreading all over the world, behind all those is a Bhaktivinoda Thakur to begin with, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and later on Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So these 3 of them get the credit for the existence of Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the shape, in the form that it exists right now. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur especially gets a lot of that credit. He was a pioneer. He was the one who started this movement, and he is the one who also predicted that there will be a time. He had predicted Prabhupada-like person would propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world, and those followers would come to India, from Germany, from England, from here, there. They'll come to Bengal, they will come to Mayapur, and they will all chant. What will they chant? Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari. So that is happening here, right here in Pandharpur. We have devotees from different countries and different states. So prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur has come true. We could realize that. From Orissa we have someone from. Okay, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sthira Bhavatithi Mahotsava ki jai. Srila Gadadhara Pandit Sthira Bhavatithi Mahotsava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.